Hey, how's it going? I'm Chris with PearsonCopy.com, and I'm here to help your brand to make more sales with email. As a part of my 100 emails in 100 days breakdown challenge, I am breaking down an email from Nanit. This is a welcome email. I found their brands through my Facebook ad feed in my Facebook page. Um, and the offer they were making and the ad they were running was actually pretty interesting. So I clicked on that, and I checked out their site, and what they're selling and how they're selling it was actually pretty interesting. So I signed up for their list, and now at the time of me signing up, this is a welcome email that I got from them. So I'm going to go ahead and break that down. They do offer a percentage off or 10% off coupon code as their incentive on their form. So I wanted to see how they present that in their first email here from their welcome series. So with that being said, let me go dive in and break this down for you. So the subject line, yay, question mark, your Nanit welcome code for 10% off. 10% off is inside. So this is your direct offer style subject line. They're telling you exactly what's inside the email. They also add a little bit of personality with the yay. While that is one word with an exclamation point there, it does offer a little bit of personality. It does show the reader and the person who's potentially signed up for the list, and they're going to potentially click on this email, that we're not just offering you 10% off code. There's personality here. There is going to be a relationship. It softens that direct offer a little bit. It makes it a little more conversational. So that's something brands can do, is potentially write out your direct offer for the subject line and then add some kind of conversational piece to it, like yay, or hey, this is for you, your code's inside, or something like that. A little bit of personality and even humor, but personality more generally can soften direct offers and soften that conversational piece to get people to click. And it'll give people something to connect to as well when you have some personality. So I really like the subject line. I think that it does soften the direct offer, and it's going to get more opens than if they just said your Nanit welcome code for 10% off is inside. The word yay makes it a lot easier for people to say, oh, this feels like a real brand, a real person that I'm going to be talking to. So they click into it. So yeah, moving down the email here, we've got the brand name, the brand menu. I think that in this instance, the brand name and the brand menu fit simply because they put the code right there at the top of the email. They say, hi, your exclusive welcome code for 10% off, welcome 10. They can go to home, shop, or blog once they have that code and go do what they need to do to shop and buy. So I think the menu and the positioning of that code makes sense, because at the top, if that code is below this opening graphic, if it was like down here before between personalized analytics and this graphic, I would remove the at least the menu entirely, because I want them to have the code near a CTA so they can immediately go and shop. So yeah, that's just stuff you can test as a brand, is where do I put the code in relation to the nearest CTA, and just see if that increases clicks. Because once they see the code and say, oh, welcome to the code, I'm going to go click and shop now. Yeah, this right here is pretty close, but if they have to go all the way down here or scroll even a little bit to find a CTA, they might not use the code. They might just skip it and go to the next email. So stuff like that. That's like CRO stuff, right? It's not necessarily copy. It's more of just like optimization of your click rate and just where things are placed inside your email. When you have plain text, if you did this email as a plain text, the text would be hyperlinked, and it'd be very easy to see, because typically you have black text on white background and you have a blue hyperlink. So seeing where that link is at is very, very easy. You could also make the code itself. You could just hyperlink the code and say, hey, use this code, click here and use this code to get your 10% off your next purchase. Boom, the link is literally right there over the code. And you can just smash those two together and make it the CTA and the actual offer. So yeah, with that being said, moving down, the first piece of copy here, really, when it comes to like selling, welcome to the Nanit family. The award-winning Pro camera gives parents a crystal clear picture of baby, bringing better nights and days for all. So this is like introducing the product, the Pro camera product, and then the feature and benefit stack here. So gives parents a crystal clear picture of baby, right? So that's a feature, right? The crystal clear image is a feature, and then bringing better nights and days for all would be the benefit. So something here that I would potentially test is, what does better nights and days for all actually mean? Does that mean being able to see the baby while they're sleeping, or if they start making noise, you can actually check in on them so you don't interrupt them. So if they're just like sleeping, they roll over, make some noise, and then go back to sleep, you don't have to go in the room to interrupt them and wake them up from a good sleep. Or if they are throwing a fit or having an issue, or you have some concerns because you heard something, or you can check it on the camera without interrupting the kid. So what does bringing better nights and days for all actually mean? Let's dimensionalize that benefit. And if we dimensionalize that benefit, we're going to get more people leaning in and saying, oh my God, that's exactly what I want. I want that outcome. I want that benefit. I want that outcome. So that's something I would do here with this line, is bringing better nights and days for all. Maybe add an extra line to define what that is, or change out the better nights and days for all with something specific, something concrete that a parent or parents could latch onto and say, oh, a Pro camera gives me this outcome. That's what I want. So yeah, that's what I would say here for the copy. Overall, I think it's a solid piece of copy. Just that one tweak might get you more clicks. You have your shop now, you have your baby over here, you have the camera here. I think this overall is an offer. Actually, it looks pretty well. It looks pretty good. So doing this as plain text, I think you would put this code, remove the brand name in the menu at the top, throw in the welcome to the Nanit family, the award-winning programmer, and then put the welcome code between the shop now and this copy, shop now, and then you go on from there. So moving down the email a little further, we've got two feature and benefit stacks here. So we have the personalized analytics. So that's going to be a feature. Get real-time sleep info and plus expert tips to improve baby sleep. So this one is actually I like better than their initial copy at the top here, because get real-time sleep info plus expert tips. So that's a feature, right? The personalized analytics you get info and tips based on these analytics. So that's a feature and a benefit, right? And then to improve baby sleep, which is in the outcome. So that's how you dimensionalize something. It's not as dimensionalized as I would say you could go, but it is improve baby sleep. So if you want to improve the kid's sleep, knowing this info and getting expert tips because of that info, it's going to help them get an outcome, which is improving the baby's sleep. So I would go as far as saying sleep through the night. If you're struggling with your kids sleeping through the night, get these analytics so that you can tell what to try next or what to do to get them to sleep through the night, or at least sleep the majority of the night. So you're not waking up 6 times a night and trying to help them get back to sleep. So something like that, dimensionalizing it, throwing some pain in there, that type of stuff will should and typically does increase the click-through rate when it comes to like learn more or just a CTA. The next feature benefit stack, split screen for the win, FTW. So they're using some shorthand here for the win. So if you're, I would say millennial or younger, you know what FTW means for the win. That's typically where I learned it is from the video game scene. So I used to play video games a lot, but for the win, that's where I found it. That's where I came from. But FTW is typically known, millennials or younger, of what that acronym means. So they're speaking to a specific audience, right? They're using an acronym like this to speak to an audience. Because if you know anybody that's older than millennial, FTW might mean something else or not mean anything. It's like, what does that mean? So yeah, I think they're targeting their specific audience here with this, and that's a simple acronym. Just a three letters can tell you what kind of audience they're actually targeting, or you want to target, or actually attract or deter, right? So knowing exactly what those words mean and what they mean to your audience, your ideal audience, that can mean all the difference. So yeah, that's a little dive there into that type of level of detail or specificity. So yeah, let's read the copy here. Split screen for the win. So and they show a picture here, and also split screen back before online gaming. Split screen was how you played games with your friends. You would split screen on the same TV, so you could play the same game on 2 different paths, or with a friend. And if you've ever played games before, that you know what that means. So like split screen for the win, it fits that millennial, or sometimes in some cases younger, but mostly millennial type of understanding of what split screen for the win actually means. So yeah, let's move past that. But split screen for the win, view 2 kids on one screen and connect your parenting team. They're playing on the team thing. Like when you're split screening, you're either playing against each other or as a team. They're going all in on this millennial video game idea. I think at least that's where I got it from. So yeah, view two kids on one screen and connect your parenting team. So this is more of a benefit. So split screen for the win. So split screen's a feature. The benefit is you get to view 2 kids on one screen and connect with your parenting team, with the other parent in the relationship. There's not much dimensionalization here. It's kind of implied. If you can see both kids on one screen, that's kind of implied. The outcome is you can watch them both or see them both at the same time, or et cetera. But in most cases, when people on the internet search around, shopping, reading, they don't really stop and think what that actually means. So so what you can connect your parent team, so what you can have split screen. That's a good question to ask, is so what about this feature and benefit? So what's the outcome? And then also how do you dimensionalize that and say, okay, what does having both kids on the same screen actually mean for the parent? So what does that mean? What does that get me? What does that get me as a customer if I can see both kids? So that's how you dimensionalize things. You just go 1 or 2 steps further with it and explain to them what the outcome and how it's going to affect their life positively, or negatively if you're talking about a problem, but positively if you're talking about a solution. And I would add a little bit more. I would tweak a little bit more and go a little bit deeper on this with the copy, simply because, like I said before, that type of specificity and going it 1 step further and potentially future pacing, right? Future pacing takes a little bit more time. It can be done in a couple sentences, a couple words, but dimensionalizing so you can give them the outcome they're looking for and speak to that understanding of, like, I know you want this. Here's what this actually gets you. That's going to increase conversions in the sense of like clicks, and potentially raise sales because you have more people clicking on this, say, yep, that's the outcome I want. They're going to click and shop now and go buy. Next section here. And I think ultimately this section here could be its own email. It doesn't have to be part of this. I would potentially find a third feature benefit just to make it a trifecta, right? Make it a three, a collection of 3 features and benefits, which I'd imagine they have something they can do. But yeah, Nanit community, celebrate every first. Whether you're wondering where to start solid foods or when baby will walk and reach the TV, we're here. So yeah, this copy here is actually pretty solid. You're wondering where to start solid foods. So that's a question or a problem, right? Or a concern, or when baby will walk and reach where baby will walk. And then a child walking for the first time or getting new to walking, or just walking in general isn't necessarily a problem. But if they reach for the TV or the remote, or pull a bowl of hot oatmeal or something off the counter, or a coffee or something off the counter because they're reaching for stuff now, that's a problem. That's something you want to avoid and keep them from doing. And Nanit dimensionalize that when they say and reach for the TV. So it puts a picture in your mind of like a kid just now walking, now reaching up for the TV to pull a cord or something. That gives you an image. It puts it in your head. Another way, just to add to dimensionalization, another way to think about dimensionalization is what kind of image can you put in the customer's head. What I mean by that is if I say, don't think about a pink elephant. A pink elephant, and it just inherently pops into your head because it's like a pink elephant. Okay, that's what he said not to think about, but now you're thinking about it, right? So being able to put an image, offer an image up and get that into somebody's head, that's how you dimensionalize things, right? You give them a concrete way to contextually understand something, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think Nana does that well with the copy here, because when a kid reaches for the TV for that cord and they go to pull because they're falling or because they're like, oh, this thing's new, your gut just goes into your throat. And you're like, oh God, please don't. And you run for them, right? But yeah, so with that being said, the Nanit community, offering the community as an offer here. So I would potentially, depending on their strategy, offer the community after somebody buys, or write a totally separate email that talks about the community and what it actually means. Because if you get somebody in the community before they buy, that the customers in that community will actually sell for you, right? And also too, if you're selling a community as another offer, you can take who's in the community now and take what they're saying in that community and use it in the email and say, hey, look, here's 3 different people in the community saying why they love the community so much and what they get from it, and use that to sell the community. So putting it down here at the bottom just as kind of an afterthought of like, hey, if you're not going to buy, go check out our community. I think you're underselling the offer. I would make this its own email, maybe a couple emails. I would make it part of your regular campaign emails if you're doing like one a week or a couple a week to your list. And if to people who are not in the community, say, hey, we're selling this community because we want you in it. Because the community could be a selling factor. It could be a reason for somebody to buy, right? Because if you're part of a community and you're using the technology, everybody's on the same page when it comes to communication, and it just deepens that relationship with the brand. So I would push this community thing into a separate email and sell it as a separate offer, as if it's a camera, right? As if it's a product, and go in on this as if you're selling something different or separate from your products. But this is like a community offer as opposed to a physical camera offer. With that being said, that's pretty much the rest of the email. You have the socials down at the bottom. You've got your offer and when it expires, your terms here, which is pretty straightforward, pretty standard. I'm not going to say much about the social icons. They could stay or go in this email. It really just depends what the brand's trying to do. I personally would get rid of them in the welcome series entirely. Unless social is like a core part of selling in this welcome series, or just selling the first time buyers or first time customers into getting into that first purchase. Unless social is a part of selling in that process, I would just remove them entirely from your welcome series. I don't want my potential customers bouncing around to different social feeds and getting distracted and like having that just extra thought in their head of like what's on their Instagram feed, what's on their Facebook feed. I want them focused in on what I'm offering them, and every time they open an email, it's just for the one thing that I'm offering them. I don't want them bouncing around and being too distracted and confused about where to go, what to buy, and who to listen to. So that's all I'll say there. So yeah, the big 3. If I had to pick 3 big insights here. One, I would test this as a plain text, simply because the way you position and order this information at the top, I would test that in plain text. I would test it with this design and reorder these things. Put this welcome 10 down here, maybe inside this. I don't know. I would test that and just see how to order things. Even though the copy is pretty solid, I would order things differently and just test that. The second thing, I would find a third feature benefit as a part of this stack. Because I want them to focus on buying this camera, using this code on this specific camera. It looks like Nanit may be making the assumption that this camera is like usually like the 80-20 of what people actually buy first is the camera. And that's what they're offering in the welcome series. I'd imagine the rest of the emails are talking about this camera, potentially accessories, potentially social. That's what most brands do. So I'd go all in on this camera and say, hey, the first thing you need to buy is this camera. The second thing are these accessories once they add like post-purchase stuff. So yeah, I would add a third feature benefit to this stack. and go all in on this camera. Tied to that, the third big thing is if you have a community that you're actually nurturing, you're actually building, you're actually growing, I would make that a separate email, separate offer. Maybe talk about the community after the welcome series is over, and you don't, and the people that don't purchase. Or it really either purchase or don't purchase, share the community with them after the welcome series, because you want them to try and purchase that first time through. And then anybody that doesn't, now you start offering them other offers to like attach value, perceive value to your brand, which would be the community, accessories, maybe some good social presence, etc. That's when you do that stuff after, unless it's a specific important part of your selling process. So yeah, those are the three big insights. So with that being said, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching this breakdown. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to comment below this video or email me. Go to my website, fill out the form, email me. That's in my About section on my YouTube page here. Go check out my other videos. At the time of this recording, I have over 90 videos breaking down brand emails like this and giving insights that you can take back to your brand to make more sales with email. With that being said, thanks for watching, and see you around.